Welcome, everybody, to episode 212 of the effing title. The last one of 2023. And this time, I am only here with Senor Rob. Fedge is not here with us, but Rob is. Hi, Rob.
Hola.
Hola. So,
Yes.
Tim Hortons. Last week, you and Fedge both went 9-7. I went 12-4. So now I have a 2-point lead on you, and Fedge still has a 22-point lead on both of us. And I will say this right now: Fedge has picked a lot of the favorites. Who would have guessed it?
I know, right? Who would have guessed? Jeff and his favorites.
So last week, what did we think of last week?
Honestly, much better.
Yes, the product as a whole felt a lot better last week.
Much more entertaining. I was a lot of close games. I mean, still some sloppy football, but I will take sloppy football if it means the games are going to be competitive and close.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't hate it. And it's what the NFL wants. There are a lot of games there are a lot of teams still in the playoff hunt.
Yep. These last 2 weeks are going to be very entertaining, to say the least.
Yes, that is to say the least. So, very exciting to see how this whole thing unravels. But right now, I would say it's been a good season so far.
So with some news that we're gonna have this week, we actually got a couple of things today. So first thing, the Texans are claiming Kareem Jackson off of waivers. Kind of a nice pickup underneath the radar, sort of thing, I think.
Yeah, I agree. It's a low-key good pickup. Can't complain there.
The Giants are going to be starting Tyrod Taylor this week over Tommy DeVito.
Bringing him back.
Washington is going to be starting Jacoby Brissett over Howell.
I'm just surprised they waited so long to do this one. Why not try it earlier if you were going to do it?
My thing with it is if Howell is supposedly your guy moving forward, right? Let him play. He needs to play in these really bad situations and where just shit is not good. Let him play. Let him get time, right? I hate teams that say like this is the guy and then they pull him.
I don't think they think he is the guy. I think this is probably a from above person thing because let's be honest, what's his face is probably out.
Yep.
They're probably saying, "Hey, you're not going to be the coach, so you're not making this decision." Saying how we need to see Brissett because if we can use Howell, it's great. I think that's more of the situation right now.
That's fair. Salty Kelsey says Chiefs issues not just on one guy, which is kind of a funny title. You are also breaking up really bad, just so you know.
Yeah, my internet's really bad right now.
Okay. The Broncos are benching Russell Wilson for the remainder of 2023 to preserve financial flexibility.
That makes no sense. They should just say they have a 1% chance of making the playoffs, and we're going to not risk him getting hurt.
One key reason behind the switch is financial, per Rappaport. Wilson has a $37 million injury guarantee for 2025 that becomes fully guaranteed in March, sitting the QB the final 2 weeks to ensure he doesn't suffer a catastrophic injury provides the Broncos financial flexibility if Sean Payton and co. decide to move on from the 35-year-old quarterback in 2024.
Makes a lot more sense now.
It's not a done deal. But the late season benching is a strong indicator that Denver will end the Wilson ride after 2 seasons. That's a hell of a thing.
I don't know if I would. I mean, who do they? Do they have, who's their other QB?
Jarrett Stidham.
They can't think he's the answer.
Jarrett Stidham apparently is going to be the answer. Yeah. Wow, that you're fighting for literally a playoff spot, and they're like, yeah, no, we're good, we're okay. We don't need that. That's wild to think about. But let's get into Week 17 matchups, though. Like I said, Fedge is not here, so Fedge's answers for all of these are already, as you can see, on the board. And if you're just listening and not seeing, I will read off who Fedge picks for each one. So we're starting off Thursday Night Football, Jets at Browns, and surprisingly, Fedge picked the Browns.
Wow, what a coward.
I am also picking the Browns.
Yeah, it's a good pick, but what a coward. Go out on a limb a little bit, you know?
So you're going Jets?
I mean, the Browns right now, they're playing for a 1 seed.
Yeah, the Browns literally could. Like, it's the funniest thing to think about that the Browns have gone through as much shit as they have this season, and they are currently fighting for the 1 seed.
With Joe F. Flacco.
Yeah, and that's another side note. Joe Flacco has to be comeback player of the year, right?
What's he coming back from, though, the bench?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Dude, I'm just saying he was on a couch.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Motherfucker wasn't even playing, and then he's just come in. And now he's leading the Browns to a fucking playoff spot. Like it ain't pretty, but let's be honest here. When was Joe ever pretty with anything he did?
Never.
It never was. It just he got the job done though.
This is very true.
So I assume you're. I was gonna say. So I assume you were gonna go Browns then.
Yeah, I am. I am picking the Browns. Like I've said it before, their defense is on a different freaking planet, dude.
Mm-hmm.
They might, especially in today's day and age, where like great defenses still give up 20 points because that's just what
the way it is. Yeah,
that's just what modern era football is now. It's incredible what they've been able to do.
There's only Patrick Queen has been saying it a lot recently, and I know you hate it, but you hate the saying kind of to an extent. But he's been saying basically like people don't want to play Baltimore because it's a different we play a different brand of football that people don't want to play against. Like we're going to hit you. We don't care. That's the same thing with the Browns defense. Browns defense, Ravens defense, like that is a built-in thing right there. Where it's just like there's only a couple teams I would say in the entire NFL where defensively it's just like this is a different brand of football. Like you don't want to people don't want to play us.
No.
You know.
Nor should they.
Lions at Cowboys is next though. That's Saturday, a Saturday game. Lions at Cowboys. This is Monday Night Football on a Saturday. That's what it was, because I remember them saying that during the Ravens game.
Monday Night Football on a Saturday.
And Fedge is picking the Cowboys.
Against who again?
The Lions.
It's a bold prediction there.
I'm going with the Lions. I think the Cowboys are on that slump down now after fucking losing the weird do we beat a good team or not game. I think the Lions are going to win this one because the Lions are a good team.
I think this is the best thing for the Lions, that after a big game like that where they clinch the North. And if they were playing a bad team, I'd sit there and say they're going to lose.
Yeah.
The hangover, all that stuff. But because they're playing a good team, part of me is like, I think they're going to come out and play and be like, yeah, we're the best team. You know, so I'm also going to take the Lions in this one.
Starting off Sunday, we have Dolphins at Ravens.
Another good game. The Dolphins just proved they can beat a good team. It wasn't pretty in any way, shape, or form, but they did win, and I do think this now. Again, the NFL is all about matchups.
Yes.
I do think. I think the Ravens offense will be fine. I think you can run the ball against the Dolphins pretty well. But I do think the Dolphins are a bad matchup for the Ravens because the Ravens, especially with have they said how long Hamilton's going to be out?
He's not. He's back. He should be back this week. It looks like.
Oh, what a pansy then.
He's been dealing with that knee injury for fucking since earlier on in the season when it got hurt the first time.
Well, the Ravens on defense aren't fast.
No.
And that's all the Dolphins are.
Yep.
So I do think the Dolphins. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I won't be surprised if it's kind of like last year, where it's one of these teams goes out to a big lead and then the other team slowly crawls their way back into it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of this is going to come down to can the Dolphins corners finally
do a thing,
make their money's worth.
Yeah, right.
If they can, then I think they'll be in good shape. So I'm gonna take the Dolphins in this one.
Okay.
As an upset. And I think it's just a matchup. The Dolphins are not a better team, but matchup-wise, this is a problem for the Ravens.
So, Fedge is picking the Ravens. It is in Baltimore.
Remember, all of Jeff's things are based on how to get the Bills to the highest spot.
I'm picking the Ravens. I genuinely think we can win this game. It's going to be a good game. It literally, like you said, I think it's going to come down to can we cause enough pressure in the backfield like we did last week? Because that's the big thing right now is that you see our defense struggle at times
without blitzing too. That was the thing. You guys caused all that chaos without blitzing.
And then when we did blitz, it was amplified.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to
third and forever when you did blitz. That's when you got the interceptions and things like that. If the Ravens are getting pressure with 4 people, no one can beat them. No one can.
The weird one, and I don't think I'll be able to find it now, but I saw it this morning, when I was in the gym. Oh, right here. Very weird tweet from Adam Schefter that involves this, right? Honestly, very weird tweet. Out of nowhere, Schefter just tweets out, here are some of the notable injuries these quarterbacks have suffered this season versus the Ravens defense.
Mm-hmm.
It's that's just a weird. Why are you posting that? What? That's just a weird tweet, bro.
Dirty player.
And then you look at it and it's half the fucking players were hurt going into the game. So it's Ryan Tannehill, high ankle sprain. He had that going into the game. Deshaun Watson, fractured shoulder. Had that going into the game. Joe Burrow, torn wrist ligament. Had that going into the game. Trevor Lawrence, concussion. Okay, we did that. Whoops. Brock Purdy, stinger. I'm sorry, if you're putting stinger down as a notable injury, you can fuck right off. I think it's gonna be a good game. This has that. I think Dolphins Ravens has all of the makings of an AFC Championship game, 4 weeks before the AFC Championship game.
Well, what I was gonna say is, if the Ravens win this game, if they win it, right?
Yep.
It makes it way more exciting because as long as the Bills win this week, the Bills and Dolphins would be playing in the final week of the season for the AFC East.
Yep. And now,
straight up, whoever wins takes the AFC East.
And now we are at. And now, speaking of Bills, we're at Patriots at Bills next. And surprisingly, Fed just picked the Bills. I, however, am not going to be surprising. I'm going to go with the Patriots.
I'll tell you what. The Pats are playing really well. Three straight games, Colin.
Yeah.
Touchdowns.
Yeah. Not just one.
Touchdowns.
There's an S at the end of that.
Multiple touchdowns.
Yes, I mean
big.
The Patriots have nothing really to play for at this point, other than fucking over the Bills. It's in Buffalo. It's just villain. This is just villain storytelling at its best.
Well, I love it because because a lot of obviously the media keeps asking Pats players like, "Hey, what do you have to play for that's motivating you and stuff like that?" And they're like straight up, there people on the Pats defense are sitting there going, like they interviewed Uche,
Yep.
and Uche was like, "Well, I'm playing to get a contract. Like I'm a free agent." And then
Fair.
there were others that were just like, they were like, I'm playing to make sure I still have a role on this defense next year when all these other guys get healthy. like, like
That's fair.
two of them are sitting there. They're like, we have two Pro Bowlers that are injured right now on our team.
Yeah,
So,
that's fair. That's a good
like,
response. Good response. I like that.
then offensively, they're all just playing for their fucking jobs.
Yeah, right.
They're all gonna, as far as I'm concerned, you can cut them all.
Cut them all and let God figure it out later.
But yeah, I just want I think it would be hilarious if this in the season that the Pats are like this, they fucking find a way to sweep the Bills. It'd be fucking hilarious.
It would be fucking hilarious. And you know what? Just because of that, I just went and looked. I'm locking up the Patriots.
Yeah, you should. They could. I mean, they're playing great.
So I'm
The
assuming you're
hard
picking
part
the
is
Patriots as well. That's
I am, yeah, just to say fuck Jeff. Because I mean, yeah, fuck it.
Falcons at Bears.
And also deep down, the other reason I'm picking the Pats is because I don't care about the last game of the regular season. I want the first round of the playoffs, Dolphins and Bills again.
That would be fucking hilarious. That would be fucking hilarious. Falcons at Bears though.
Falcons at Bears.
At the Bears. We're going to Chicago. I am picking the Falcons.
I'm honestly, I have no. The Falcons are the most confusing team in the goddamn NFL. I have no idea what they're doing half the time. I don't know if they're like. I don't know if they're good. I don't know if they're bad.
Yeah, no one. I feel like no one does. I'm at the point where it's just like
I never know who's playing quarterback.
I think it's Heineke this week.
Oh, he balled out last week. Last week they fucking embarrassed the fucking Colts.
Yeah, so fuck it, right?
But the Bears, I like the Bears. The Bears are playing really well recently too. Like, and they're the Bears. Their last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. You can even go 7. They lost by 7 to the Saints, beat the Panthers, blew a lead to the Lions, beat the Vikings, beat the Lions, lost by 3 to the Browns, beat the Cardinals. Like, the Bears are a pretty good team. Like, and I think the Bears are building. So I think the Bears are going to be fucking scary next year. So I'm going to go with the Bears.
Okay. I have a fun one to hit on that at the end of this. I think you'll find interesting. Titans at Texans. Fedge is going Titans.
Well, yeah, again, like who's playing quarterback for the Texans? Like,
That's a great point.
Texans picked a really bad time to have CJ Stroud get fucking hurt. Like, fighting for their playoff lives. Fuck it. I'm gonna go with the Texans.
Going Texans?
I got no reason to do it because let's do it.
I'm joining you.
Stroud is expected to practice today.
Oh, there we go.
All
Texans all the way.
Texans all day, baby.
Texans by a million. Raiders at Indianapolis. This is a fucking easy one. It's Raiders. Fedge is also picking Raiders.
Dude, the AFC West, the Raiders might actually. They still have a chance to win the AFC West.
Yeah, they do.
Like, if the Chiefs lose, and the Chiefs play the Bengals and the Chargers, so they shouldn't lose. But, like, the Raiders, they might sneak into the freaking. Like, they really might sneak into a.
Not only this is so there is a way that the Raiders and the Broncos can both be in the playoffs, and the Chiefs won't be in the playoffs.
Yeah, the Brock that take a shit ton.
It will, but it can happen. And in my head, it's going to happen. So
How funny would that be if the Broncos bench Russell Wilson and then backwards their way into the fucking
I
playoffs?
would love it, dude. That would be so fucking funny. Um, yeah,
I'm
so
also going with the Raiders. The Raiders
all right, Raiders across
minus
the
that
board.
one. They're gonna kick themselves this offseason. Like it's gonna bite them in the ass. That stupid fucking 3-0 loss to the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
Like if that didn't happen, I would honestly pick them to win the AFC West. They're playing that good right now.
That's fair. That's fair. Panthers at Jaguars. Do we really need to talk about this one?
Yeah, the Jaguars suck right now.
They do, but it's the fucking Panthers, bro. Like,
The Jaguars suck right now.
yeah, but it's the Panthers, dude.
Hey, they've been getting closer and closer.
Yeah, but it's still the fucking Panthers. Like, this isn't
They almost won last week.
against who?
The Packers.
Yeah, but that's the Pack. We know how the Packers are. They're either fucking God's gift to green Earth, or they're just not the Earth at all.
The Panthers had it tied 30-30 with 4 minutes left.
I know.
Fuck it. Dude. I'm going with the Panthers.
All right,
Fuck the Jaguars, dude. They
me and
suck
Fedge are going
right
Jags.
have I locked it? I've probably locked them. I fucking wish I had. I fucking
You have not. You have not locked the
Lock
Panthers.
lock it up, baby. I'm going Panthers. The Jaguars suck right now.
They do. There is a potential chance if the Jaguars lose these next 2 weeks, and if they lose, and I think it's if Indy wins out, either Indy or Houston wins out, the Jags won't make the playoffs, and Houston or Indy can make it instead.
The Jags might not make the playoffs anyway. They're playing, dude. They've lost 4 in a row.
Oh no, well, that's the thing, Rob. I'm talking about like for their division.
Oh, dude, they're in a 3-way tie for. They're not winning the division. They will not win the division.
Like,
the Texans are going to win the division.
It is wild. Rams at Giants.
This is a scary. The Rams need this game.
So Fedge picked the Rams. Let's just throw that out there first.
I mean, you should. They are the better team, and they're another team playing really well right
Yeah,
now.
well, it's funny if you look at it right now. They got smacked around by Baltimore, and since then they've been playing very fucking well.
I mean, you say smacked around. They only lost by 6.
They got smacked around by Baltimore.
I know. They lost in overtime, though.
They got smacked around.
Losing in overtime because Baltimore's returned to punt 76 yards.
Yeah, we fucking did, Rob. All 3 phases.
Yeah.
But
Smacked around.
since we smacked them around, they've been playing dumb good. So
They've been playing dumb good the 3 weeks before it, too.
I'm picking the Rams simply just because of us smacking them around and we knocked something loose in that head of theirs, and now they're playing good. You're welcome, LA.
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams, too. The Rams are fucking good. I'm going to pick the Rams. I'm going to lock the Rams next week to beat the Niners.
Cardinals at Eagles.
Eagles. Next.
I was gonna say you're gonna do it.
Cardinals fucking suck.
Eagles across the board. Saints at Buccaneers. Fedge went Buccaneers. You already know I'm going Buccaneers. I genuinely think that Baker Mayfield has secured his spot as their starting quarterback for at least 2 years.
Well, I mean,
In Tampa.
It depends what they offer him as a contract. But yeah.
No, I genuinely don't think. I think that he will stay. I'm
telling you, there are going to be a lot of teams that are interested in him.
I think there will be, but the fact that there's also been a lot of teams that have said no to him, and he went to Tampa, and then Tampa, that I think that he's going to stay in Tampa. I also think it all comes down to if Mike Evans comes back. If Mike Evans doesn't retire, sort of thing.
Yeah. If I was the Vikings, I would take a hard look at Baker Mayfield.
Oh, 1,000,000%. Any team needing a quarterback, I would fucking take a look at him.
Honestly, I think he's probably the second best free agent QB behind Kirk Cousins.
I'm putting him above, but that's just because I don't like Kirk. So, yeah. So are you gonna go with Tampa, or are you gonna go with Derek?
No, fuck the Saints. Fuck that shit. Outside of the Rams, the Bucks have been playing the best football.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I'm not even gonna
a lot of
ask.
these, a
I'm just
lot of
gonna
these
put this one in.
500 teams getting hot at the right time.
I'm gonna just put this in. I don't need to ask. It's Niners at Commanders. I don't need to ask. We can just.
Whoa! You don't think Jacoby Brissett
I'm
is
just
gonna
gonna.
light up the board, dude?
We're just gonna move on from that
He's
one.
gonna light it up.
So you're picking Commanders?
Jacoby versus Sam Darnold? No, I'm picking the Niners.
Steelers at Seattle.
Ooh, Steelers at Seattle, huh?
Yep.
Two teams must wins. Must wins. The Steelers lose, they're probably out.
Yep. I would think so.
Because right now, if you go to the playoff race, the Steelers are in ninth.
Yeah, and they play Baltimore next week, so they'd be just playing upset
Yeah.
next week.
That's what I love about the way the playoffs are, right? Like the way the rankings are.
Mm-hmm.
Is I mean, if Baltimore wins this week, they lock up the 1 seed. But if say Baltimore loses this week, ain't no one in the AFC resting anybody.
Yeah, no.
No one's
The entire AFC is going into the fucking playoffs fucking just limping.
The NFC is the same way. The NFC has a 3-way tie for the number 1 seed right now.
The only difference is, though, is that the NFC just kind of like slap each other around the entire year. The AFC just beat the shit out of each other, and then one of us limps into the Super Bowl, and somehow we win.
Yes, pretty much.
I'm going Seattle, though. I'm going to say it like this. I think that the Rudolph win was just a fluke.
I also think it was a fluke, and I think
by fluke, what I'm saying as well, just so everyone knows, is not like, oh, there was a fluke that he won. No, it's that he's the third string quarterback that always gets the look at the end of a shitty season, and all he's ever done is just bomb balls, and that's all he did in the game. He just threw the ball downfield. He didn't you didn't see him read progressions. You didn't see him look and read the defense. No, he got the ball and then just fucking hucked it down the field.
Yeah, I actually do think the Steelers are going to win, but I don't think it's because of their offense. I think it's because Seattle's offensive line is fucking bad.
That's fair.
The Steelers' defense will suffocate Geno Smith.
Isn't it funny how the Seahawks went from having like one of the best O-lines with fucking Walter Jones and Hutch to then having just years of just the worst shit ever?
Yeah. Yeah.
Chargers at Broncos.
Now that I know fucking Russell Wilson isn't playing, I don't know.
You know what? I'm going with Stidham. I have liked Stidham since he was in fucking high school, which is a weird thing to say. But they did a fucking documentary on him on YouTube, Yahoo, that I remember watching. And I was like, I like that kid. Then he went to Baylor, and I was like, I like that kid. Then he transferred to Auburn, and I was like, I like that kid. And Rob said, no, he's a loser because he had to transfer. And I said, I like that kid. And then he got drafted by the Patriots, and I was like, you know what? I like that kid. And I've said it this whole fucking time. So you know what? I'm going with Stidham and the Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to pick the Chargers, that's for sure.
Yep.
So I'm not gonna.
Fedge is picking the Chargers, by the way. But of course, that is also because of getting the Bills into the playoffs.
Yes.
I'm picking simply because I don't want the Chiefs to get into the playoffs. Which now leads me to Bengals at Chiefs. And this one hurts, but I'm going Bengals. They looked really bad last week. Don't care. I don't want the Chiefs.
There's no fucking shot that the.
I just, like I said, I just think it would be fucking hilarious if this year the Chiefs just don't make the playoffs at all.
Especially because Jamar Chase isn't fucking playing. That there's no fucking shot.
Yeah, I'm going Bengals, just like I said. My head thing. Sunday Night Football, though. The final thing on the docket, Rob, we got Packers at Vikings. Fedge is picking Packers, and I am joining him. Love, 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 love. Vikings are either okay or dog shit. The Packers at least are consistent. I don't know.
The Vikings, they've been pretty good the last 3 weeks. They just haven't been able to win these last two ones. But
Well, I don't know if you know this, but that is a main staple to doing well in the NFL.
winning, yeah.
Yeah, winning.
Yeah. I mean, the Packers did almost just lose to the fucking Panthers. So
But they didn't.
I'm going to pick the Vikings.
Oh, okay. All right, so
And the Packers will officially be eliminated.
Fedge also locked up the Niners, by the way.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. Text them back and say you already did it. Coward.
So, last thing. What, you got any final statements, Rob?
Did you know? So if the playoffs ended right now,
Yes.
and forget the seventh team because
Yes.
no one knows who the seventh team is.
Yes.
Like, it would be the Dolphins, and whoever the seventh team is, and the Bills and Chiefs in the first round of the playoffs, and then the Jaguars and Browns in the second round.
Jesus Christ.
Again, no one knows who's going to be the 4 seed, and no one knows who's going to be the 7 seed, seeing as the Jags, Colts, and Texans are all tied. And to include that is the Steelers and Bengals, Raiders and Broncos, all alive for that 7 seed.
That's fucking...
In the NFC, it would be the Eagles versus either the Seahawks, Vikings, Falcons, Packers, Saints, or Bears. Bears are still alive.
Bears are still alive.
Right? Which will be fucking... And then it will be the Lions and the Rams right now.
Jesus. So my final thing is that I saw a funny one. I saw an interesting one, and that showed me thinking. It was some of the Barstool guys that do Pardon My Take now. They said, if you were the Bears, would you trade the number 1 overall pick to go get Justin Fields? Or not Justin Herbert. Get Justin Herbert, trade the number 1 overall pick and get Herbert with like pick 5 or 7, get one of the tackles, and then trade Justin Fields for a late first, second, and then just get someone else.
You'd have to give up more than the number 1 overall pick for Justin Herbert.
That's what I thought too, and I'm starting to think
they would have to give up the number 1 overall pick.
It was an interesting thought though.
And Justin Fields, honestly.
Well, that's the thing is like they give the number 1 pick and then they go get Caleb Williams and they get they start their franchise over with a brand new head coach, brand new GM.
I honestly, if I am the Bears, I am sitting there and I probably try to trade down just so I can get more draft picks.
Yep.
But if I'm the Bears, like you get rid of the first 3 games. They played like shit the first 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
They lost by 3, won, lost by 6, win. They got blown out by the Chargers. Then they lost by 7, win, lost by 5, in which they had an 18-point lead. Win, lost by 3, win, and then they're playing the Falcons and they could easily win the next 2 games.
Well, I want to see.
They could finish 8-9 this year.
I need to find the here. So I'm going to tell you why they're not going to do that. Okay, and you're going to think I'm crazy for this, but I'm just going to tell you why.
They could easily lose these last 2 games as well. Yeah,
there's a reason why they will. Because did you know? There's a thing. Let me make sure. Yes, team record. Okay, good. Did you know? In 2021, Justin Fields won 2 games. In 2022, he won 3 games. So far this year, Rob, he has won 4 games, which means he physically will not be able to win any more games now. And then next year will be 5, and then 6, and then 7, then 8, and then by 2030, maybe they'll be in the Super Bowl.
I mean, if I'm them, I look at it this way. I'm gonna go and I'm probably gonna look at trading back,
Yep.
and I would end up probably sitting there and drafting the best offensive lineman and the best defensive player I can,
Hmm.
and just stay the fucking course. Like, or fuck it, go get the two best defensive players of it. Like, I don't know, like
Yeah,
they can't like their corners too much. I've never fucking heard of them.
this
Like,
it's a very. I feel like the Bears surprisingly are in one of the weirder situations in the NFL because there is just that overarching is Fields the guy. Because it doesn't
that's
matter what his stats look like, and it doesn't matter how good he looks during the wins. When they've only won, when I like I just listed off, he's won fucking what 9 games in 3 years.
I can tell you this. He had. This is something that you can say. In his 3 seasons, he has gotten better every year. His completion percentage has improved. He's already thrown for the same amount of yards this year as he did last year in 4 less games.
True. However,
He has,
though, how
he
much
has
money
less.
did they spend this offseason to go make sure that this was going to happen?
Dude, they only did one change on offense.
Yeah, they got him an actual receiver.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm not.
I like
Yeah,
I'm not arguing
I'm not saying.
arguing against yours either. I'm just
Yeah,
saying that like
I'm
it's
not saying he's great either. I'm not saying he's the next like star QB. I just I've always believed this with teams is, and I believe it with the Patriots. I don't think the Pats should get a QB in the draft. Like when you draft a QB in the first round, this is the benefit you get with all your first round players.
that fifth year option.
Every player automatically is on a 4 year contract, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you get a team option for year 5.
Yep.
So if that's the case, why the hell do we give up on QBs after 2 years? You still have them under contract for another 3.
Because
And
the
if
because
you're and if, again, like you said, you can say what you want. You can give up on Justin Fields,
mm-hmm.
but if you're fielding trade offers for him, no one's giving you shit because they know if you're trying to trade him, they know you're trying to draft a QB.
Yep.
But why the hell would I give you something for a backup? What's the best a backup's ever gotten in a trade offer? You know what I mean? Like, what, a 6th round pick? Why would I draft? Like, it's the same thing that people are like, oh, trade Mac Jones. For what?
Well, I think that's the thing is it's just
You're not even going to get a fucking dishwasher for Mac Jones right
I,
now.
I guess
Like,
I think the Bears are in the worst situation out of all the teams right now because it's just that thing of it's I think they are at the crossroad of do we stay the course or do we fucking go get
that's
someone
the
new?
thing. I think they're stupid. You are wasting picks and you are wasting your time if you think because again, let's say like you're gonna go get Caleb Williams. As a football player, they are the exact same player. Like the exact same player. They have the same arm strength, the same athleticism. They come from very similar styles in college. Like,
Well, so
what the fuck do you think the difference
well,
is? The
and
difference is
that's
this.
oh, and
You're
that
going to have to
goes
go through all these growing pains again. The
well,
only argument you can make for me is, oh, they're going to go get Drake May.
well, so that's the thing. So that's the thing that made the guys on part of my takes thing interesting was that they said the Bears trade the first pick, right, to uh to the Chargers for Justin Herbert. The Chargers go out and get Lincoln Riley as their new head coach. Lincoln Riley with the first overall pick, then drafts Caleb Williams.
Now, so we know we've seen this story. It's called the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh yes,
And now, to be fair, I'm not knocking the story because they had that one season that if their entire offense doesn't get fucking hurt,
mm-hmm,
they were 9-0,
yep,
and they were the best team in football,
yep,
and
and
it
then they
wasn't
fucking
fucking
imploded.
close. And then as soon as it was the old linemen, the tackles got injured.
Yep.
As soon as the tackles got hurt, the next week Kyler Murray got hurt, DeAndre Hopkins was injured. Like their whole team then imploded because it was all the team was built around the offense scoring,
Yes.
which is why everyone says you need offensive minded coaches. But at the end of the day, look at the last how many, let's see, like Super Bowl winners. Let's list off the last Super Bowl winners and tell me how bad their defenses were. Kansas City had a pretty good defense last year.
Yep.
The Rams,
Pretty good defense.
one of the best ever. The
Yep.
Buccaneers that year they were fantastic on defense. The Chiefs again, great defense. New England, historically one of the best. Here's the outlier: the Eagles Patriots Super Bowl. That's the outlier. The Eagles did not have a good defense.
Yeah.
They had a good D line. The Patriots did not have a good defense. But then again, like New England, Denver, New England, Seattle, Baltimore, the Giants, the Pack, like
Yeah.
yes, the offense has got to be able to
The
score.
the offense gets you to the playoffs. The defense carries you into the Super Bowl.
Exactly. And your offense just has to be able to score 3 to 4 touchdowns.
Yep.
But again, one outlier where no one scored it. Where there was only one touchdown score was the New England versus the Rams. But every other that's how Super Bowl teams are built. So I think what the Bears did was smart. If truly you want to know what I would honestly do if I'm the Bears, you want to make a change at QB, all for it. Let's trade Justin Fields, keep our draft picks, go with O linemen and defensive players, go sign Kirk Cousins. Now I have a game manager quarterback, a run game, 3 pretty good receivers, and a very good defense that's young and athletic as hell. Reminds me of this team called the Atlanta Falcons that made the Super Bowl.
Fair.
You know, like that's a pretty good. If you're really trying to give up on Justin Fields and win now, which again, teams like the Bears that have been bad for a long time now.
Yeah, like I said, it was an interesting thing that it was an interesting idea. I wanted to bring it up because I thought you'd find it interesting.
Of course. I just think it's funny and it's always you never hear it with the bad team, like the really bad teams, the ones that are already eliminated. No one's telling the Carolina Panthers, oh, they should give up on freaking Bryce Young.
Yeah.
No one's saying that about Arizona this year. That's all we ever heard about Kyler Murray. This year they're saying, no, give him more time.
Yeah, no,
like, we had a whole thing about him playing video games.
Yeah. I mean, I still am on that track. Like
it's always the tweener teams.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone's talking about the Falcons QB situation.
Well, because it's always that thing of like the tweeners are more interesting because like there's only one thing they need, and they need is and it's like it's always the same thing. It's like they need a wide receiver. They need an all-star number 1, or they need the best linebacker on the planet. Like like these sort of things. It's never just like they literally just need they need like a left guard and a center. You never hear teams say that. It's not like It's always like, they need the best quarterback out there.
Because fan bases in for the last while, this is what people always forget too with the NFL is dynasties are rare.
Yes.
So, and everyone looks at those dynasties in the last, let's say, 20 years. There's really only been 2 of them, right?
Yep.
You had New England, and then you could debate that Kansas City's currently in the process of becoming one. They have to continue their success and keep doing it. But then what they see is the superstar QB.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you need. It's like, but again, there's a reason.
Yep.
They were the only one that was a dynasty.
Yeah.
Like they're like the QB, but there are plenty of teams in here. Like you just read this list. There's a random year of Denver.
Mm-hmm.
That was when Peyton Manning fell off. He was already. I mean, he broke the record that year, but like Seattle had a 2-year run. I don't think anyone's touting Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
You've got Baltimore in here 1 year. You've got the Giants.
Yep.
We all saying Eli Manning's a great quarterback.
Exactly. It's yeah.
You need a QB that is good, that can, with the right people around him, can be great for a year or two.
I mean, shit. I mean,
you need a team and a defense around him.
well, to wrap this up, the Raven Super Bowl. Joe Flacco,
Yeah,
statistically the best quarterback Super Bowl run in history, or one of them, I think.
yeah. He never went again.
That was it. You know, it was like, but it was that one year. That one year, everything lined up. It was Ray's final year. The defense was fucking unreal. The offense was lights out. Like, yeah, and
Yep.
it's just that thing.
You can
But
say the same thing about Ben Roethlisberger with the Steelers.
yep,
That one year they went in Bettis' last year.
yep,
Like, you just need to have a game manager that's not going to turn the ball over and a defense that balls out. And I think that's more, if you're just trying to win a Super Bowl, that's the formula, man. Like, if you're trying to build a dynasty, yeah, good fucking luck. You're
yeah,
going to live in mediocrity in every 3 years, you're going to be a top 3 pick
yeah, right.
because you're going to struggle. So,
Well, all right, well, let us know what you guys' picks are down in the comments down below, right? Hopefully everyone has had a good Christmas. Hopefully everyone has a good New Year. And yeah, the next time we see y'all, it's gonna be 2024. So we'll see you next year. All right. All right. It's been away, y'all. Morning, afternoon, even night. Stay out of trouble. Stay safe, and we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
darn tootin' scootin'.